How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market was a bit rocky today. Wasn't the best day out there. The S&P went down 0.5%. The Dow was down 0.9%. The NASDAQ 100 barely had a green day. And the Russell went down 1.2%. So today, we're going to break down some charts, my thoughts on the markets, stocks I'm looking at right now. So sit back, relax, go down below, get your $50 from M1 Finance. All you have to do is use my link, deposit $100, and we each get $50 to invest with. And you guys can check out my Patreon if you want all my real-time moves plus a morning update video every single day. That is linked right down below. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. And what do you know, guys? It's a lot of the same when it comes down to SPY. We're still trading in this channel between 437 as support and 442 as resistance. Nothing much has really changed. We did get a little bounce today. It was in the middle of the day on the hourly chart above the moving averages. That was nice, but it ended up being a fake out. As you all can see, we bounced at about 11 a.m. on the East Coast, rallied up till about 2 p.m., and then we saw a sell-off into the close of the market, and you can see that on the intraday chart here if I zoom in a bit. Look at this, the bounce, then we saw the sell-off, and we got a pretty big sell candle right before the market closed. Last 5 minutes here. Well, this is the 5-day, 5-minute chart. That's one big sell candle there, and now the markets are pretty much consolidating after hours above 439. So we just need to see what direction we pick, whether it's under 437 on SPY or we break out above 442. It is just way too early to tell. I mean, we just have to wait. This is where patience comes in. And you guys know that cliche saying, patience is a virtue. Well, in this case, it really is, because we've been bouncing back and forth for days at this point, and we really haven't done much of anything. And when it comes down to QQQ, we are noticing a bit of a move above 365. That's nice. If you guys didn't know, that was the all-time high from the middle of July. And we're also actually breaking above the high points from the 28th of July, 29th of July, and from the 2nd of August. So now we're pretty much one stone's throw away from all-time highs. That's the next main resistance now. And of course, all-time highs, we've mentioned this before as well, for QQQ, and you guys can see for yourselves, are right around 368.90. You might as well call it 369. So we're about $1.50 away from that point. So, I mean, don't be surprised if we get there at some point this week, next week. I wouldn't be surprised at all. In fact, we were at 368.32 earlier today. So we got pretty much 50 cents away from all-time highs today, despite the fact that the markets, like I said in the intro, were pretty rocky overall. We had a red day across the board today. Even though a lot of the stocks, it's weird, right? A lot of the stocks you can see on my watch list on the left, a lot of them were green, despite the fact that we didn't have a great day overall in the markets today. So what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. Make sure to smash that good old like button if you haven't done so already, and subscribe as well. It really helps me out in the YouTube algorithm, guys. And let's talk about some stocks now, that many of which reported earnings, 2 didn't. We'll go over those in a little bit, so make sure you guys stick through this video. Number 1 is Roku, ticker symbol ROKU. And if you guys watch my video a couple of videos ago, I forget exactly which one it was, we called out the bearish divergence on Roku and on Etsy, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes here. And look what's happening to Roku after hours, guys. This is pretty ugly. I mean, Roku closed at 420 today at close about 2 hours ago. Now it's trading at 380, so it's down 8% after market hours. And it turns out that bearish divergence ended up playing out. And you can see here, the RSI was weakening. You can see the the RSI at the bottom of the screen here, and we saw the stock itself moving higher, hence the bearish divergence. Higher highs in the actual stock, lower highs in the RSI. So we kind of saw this coming, and I'm not just tooting my own horn here. We literally did see it coming. We called it out a couple of videos ago. Now I'm looking at Roku potentially as a dip buy, maybe once it starts consolidating. And as of now, it's still it's a falling knife, let's be honest, guys. So it would be a bit risky just diving in here at 380, although you could make money doing that. But for me, I'd rather see it consolidate a bit at 380, maybe start moving up. A gap up would be nice to about 390, 395. Then maybe we could start getting into it, especially if it breaks back over the 180 SMA. But then again, if it does that, it's going to be pretty much right back to where it was today during the market, where it closed at 420. So if you want to take a flyer on this, not telling you guys to do that, of course, I'm not a financial advisor, but yeah, it is a gamble. But hey, if you buy here, it being oversold, very oversold, but also a falling knife, meaning it could go lower. It could end up working out for you guys, especially if you have a little bit of time on your side. If you're looking to get out tomorrow or get in tomorrow and out on Friday or something, that's way more of a risk. But if you're willing to buy it and wait a month or two, obviously in that instance, there's a higher chance that it does recover by then, if that makes any sense, right? We also had Uber today end up reporting, and this stock, we also called out the collapse on this one. If you guys remember, I mentioned to you guys, if Uber, which it ended up doing this, if Uber falls under 43, which was the low point from the middle of May, we were going to see a complete collapse. And what do you know? It got to $37.90. That might have been yesterday. Now it's at $40 after market hours. And it didn't take a rocket scientist to call this one out, guys. I mean, you can see we were trading under the moving averages on Uber. We saw death cross a couple weeks ago, the 50 cross under the 180 SMA. And it was headed right to the lows from the middle of May. It didn't take a rocket scientist really to call this one out. But, it ended up playing out. And if you shorted Uber, let me know down below in the comments. I didn't, and I personally wouldn't short it at these levels. I feel like it's already so oversold. And they did EPS of 58 cents versus, get ready for this, negative 51 cents estimated. So they just destroyed EPS, and revenue came in at $3.93 billion versus $3.74 billion estimated. So at this point in time, us being at a lower low, being oversold, I feel like we could see a relief rally, whether it's back over or not even over, whether it's 243 or not like 243, I mean $243, right? Whether it's to that level or we break that and rally to about 45, which is right around the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart, I'm seeing a relief rally in store here, and this is not the setup that I personally go after. I don't like trading within the downtrend, especially when we just broke under a key support from the middle of May in this instance. This is not my favorite setup, but if it were to recover, let's say, back over the moving averages, which it has a long ways to go to do that, maybe then I'll be looking at it. But as of now, I'm not looking to jump in, but I'll keep it in the back of my head. I'll keep it on my watch list. In fact, is it even on my watch list? I probably should add it to my watch list here, guys. So Uber's looking all right. Now, the next stock, the next two stocks, these are very much the setups that I like seeing. Number one is Zoom, ticker symbol ZM. This one, as you guys know, has been breaking out of the downtrending channel for weeks at this point, a couple months actually. It's trading well above the moving averages. Today it went up 7%, guys. And we all know what's going on with the Delta, the CV, rise in cases. What is that doing to the stock market? Well, it is increasing the prices of these CV stocks, Zoom being one of them. The next one we're going to talk about is another one. And again, Zoom ended up going up 7% today. And we're approaching now a key level of resistance from the beginning of July at about $405, which, quite honestly, if I were to guess here, I think we're going to break that. I think we're going to get out of there. I think we're going to break 405, fill the gap to 430, and ultimately break that as well. I think there's a lot more upside in Zoom here, and it really, it's risky. It really does depend on the delta, right? If delta continues rising, we start getting restrictions again, you best believe Zoom is going to fly. It is. It just is. That is my personal opinion. You guys must always do your research, but you are watching my YouTube channel, right? StockSurfer's YouTube channel. You're going to get my opinion here. That is what I'm thinking. So, yeah, this is looking great. Textbook bounce above the moving averages, uptrends continuing. Now we need to just see that take out 405, which again, I do see happening here in the future. So, Zoom, I'm watching. DocuSign is that other stock that did well today, up 3%. And if you guys remember, this is one that we were talking about back in the end of May, early June, right around this earnings report. And the second, no joke, the second they reported earnings, DocuSign went from $200. I think it went up like 20% that next day, or 18% or something like that. It just went berserk. And it filled the gap all the way to 270 in a matter of weeks, which was the high from the middle of February. That was a great move, and it's just been on the move since then. Now we're at potentially all-time highs. Maybe not, actually. Let me double-check that. Yeah, we are. This is an all-time high at 310 that was just hit a couple of days ago. And notice how when we hit that all-time high, we pulled back a bit. We retraced to 290, saw a nice 6% pullback, profit taking, whatever you want to call it. And now we're starting to break back over both the 50 and the 180 SMA on this hourly chart. And if I show you all this channel here, right? If it wants to work, come on now. Come on, ThinkOrSwim. Don't mess with me now. There we go. You guys see that channel? It's breaking out of the channel as well. So I think this could be a buy the breakout opportunity on DocuSign, with my initial target being about $310 per share. That is about 3% higher from where we are here. And again, if this Delta craziness continues, which it has been recently, the cases are going crazy, this could be a good trade. Ticker symbol DOCU. The next one is Etsy, which, like Roku, we called out the bearish divergence on Etsy as well a couple of videos ago. Very clear bearish divergence here. You guys see the weakening RSI, but the stock was making higher highs, higher lows. Now look at Etsy after hours. It closed at 202. In fact, this is crazy. It went up 6% on the day, $12 on the day, closed at 202. And now it gave back all of that and some. It's at 172 after hours. It's down 15%. Jeez, that is just, wow, that is just ugly. And their earnings weren't even that bad. It's got to be a guidance thing with Etsy. I mean, their earnings came in, EPS at 68 cents versus 63 cents estimated. So that beat. Revenue also beat. Revenue came in $528.9 million versus $524.84 million estimated. So double beat for Etsy. Now let me pull up this live news tab and see what the guidance is. It doesn't necessarily say anything about slowing guidance. Oh, there it is. Guides. Okay, they guide for the next quarter. The guidance is lower than the consensus. What did I say, guys? I literally called that out 2 minutes ago, or not even a minute ago. They see, okay, yep, that's what it is. Etsy sees, if you guys can see this little tab right here, slide, whatever you want to call it, Etsy sees, or column, I don't know. Etsy sees Q3 sales $500 million to $525 million versus the $524.91 million estimated. So that's not good. They're guiding a lot, not a crazy amount. but about 25 million on the lower end compared to the consensus estimate. That's never good, and that is why the stock is down 15%. That is just the truth of the matter. And like Roku, this could also be a dip buy, and it looks like we are seeing a bit of a green candle forming here on the 4-hour towards the bottom of this wedge. So don't be surprised if buyers step in potentially right here, no joke, at about 180. 175 and start pushing this thing back up over the next couple weeks. That's definitely possible. We're playing within this wedge, so we have to see what happens in that little oval that I just drew for you guys on the screen. So watch out for Etsy. Mercado Libre is another one, which last time I checked, it was doing well after hours. It still is. It's up about $90 after hours, and they did EPS of $1.37 versus, I'm not sure the estimate, but that is up from $100 or $1.11 year over year. So a nice jump in EPS year over year on Mercado Libre, and revenue came in at $1.7 billion versus $1.46 billion estimated. So nice beat on revenue. EPS is up year over year for Mercado Libre. Let's see if they issued guidance. Did they do that today? I'm not sure if they did that. Yeah, not sure if they issued guidance. But overall, I don't care because the stock is up $90. That is very good. We're breaking above high points of, that we haven't been at now since the middle of March. So we're at a 5-month high on Mercado Libre, and the next main level of resistance is about 1720 to 1730. That was a resistance in the beginning of March, and I believe that will break. And I've mentioned this before, I'll mention it again. The next major target I have for Mercado Libre after 1720 is going to be that all-time high at 2020. That gives it a good chunk of upside from here. We're talking about anywhere from 10, 15, 12% upside, of course, depending on where you get in. So Melly looking great. I like it. And this is a setup that I really like to see. You know, out of all these stocks, I'm talking about companies that are reporting earnings, of course, not necessarily that I like their setups, like Uber, for example. I hate that setup. It's very ugly. I wouldn't touch it. That's just me, though. But Zoom, I love the setup. DocuSign, love the setup. Even Etsy and Roku, they're not that bad. But Mercado Libre, this setup is way better. Although we are seeing a bit of a bearish divergence on this one as well. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. But just because we're seeing a bearish divergence, it's not the end-all, be-all. Sometimes the stock still rips up. So we're going to be watching it. Ticker symbol MELI. And the last one for today, which is a setup I don't like, and it's just abysmal after market hours, but they did report earnings, so we have to talk about it. Fastly, oh my goodness, guys. Fastly closed at $44.50 today, and now it's down to $36 after hours, down another $8 per share, and that is down about 18%. That is what, about an $8 drop is for this stock. 18-20%, which if you're in this stock, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I don't want to ridicule you guys. Obviously, that's not what I'm here to do. I mean, come on. I've lost money. We've all lost money. I've been there. We've all been there, quite frankly. If there's anybody out there that says they haven't lost money, there's some stock god, wizard. They're just full of BS. They're a bunch of crap. So if you're in something like this, it sucks. I feel for you. I really do. Because it hasn't been doing much of anything to the upside as of late. It's just been going down over the past couple of months from 116 to 35. The stock's down 70%. That is never great to see, obviously. And at this point in time, we hit a lower low, right? Well under the moving averages. We're seeing a death cross, And I feel like this could go a bit lower, but we're due for some sort of relief rally, like we are with pretty much any stock that gets way oversold. The sell-off gets way overblown, which in this case, it seems like it is a bit overblown. So we're going to watch what it does in the low to mid 30s. And now that I just realized I didn't tell you guys what they did for earnings, EPS came in at negative 15 cents versus negative 17 cents. So they beat EPS, but revenue did not beat. Revenue came in at $85.03 million versus $85.73 million estimated. And I was looking at the market cap on this. The market cap was $5 billion before the after hours. Now it's down 20%. Market cap's probably close to $4 billion, but $4 billion market cap for a company that does $85 million top line in a quarter, that's a bit expensive. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. That price to sales ratio is ridiculous. I mean, 85, let's say 85 times 4, so they do about, let's just say $300 million a year in terms of revenue. You're paying $5 billion for the company, now $4 billion after hours. That's a bit pricey. I wouldn't really touch that from a long-term perspective. I don't know. I personally wouldn't. But as a trade, again, even though this is not my favorite setup, maybe we get some sort of relief rally, some sort of bounce back. I think that's possible. So overall, we talked about Roku, Uber, Zoom, DocuSign, Etsy, Mercado Libre, and Fastly. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. Smash the like button, subscribe, leave me a comment down below, and make sure to check out my Patreon. If you guys want all my real-time buys, sells, call-outs, if you sign up to the top tier, you get a morning update video every single day talking about breakout stocks, news, earnings, what I'm doing more on a personal level. All of that's on Patreon, link down below, and you guys can get well, I just blanked out right there. What else can you get? I should know this. You can also get, oh gosh, guys, you could also get $50 from M1 Finance. Check the link down below. Deposit $100. We each get $50. So catch you guys in the next video, which I made one earlier talking about 2 overbought stocks. Check that out. I'll pop it up here. I'll link it down below as well. See you there. Thanks for tuning in again. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.